Hey, how's everyone doing today? Last night was the first presidential debate, and I didn't watch it because I can't handle listening to either of them talk, and neither of them will be my presidential choice. But I'm sure last night that the conversation of economy, healthcare, and crime all came up. But what I bet did not come up is the concept of legalizing marijuana. I believe that the current laws affecting marijuana are outdated, and to change the marijuana laws would greatly benefit our nation. According to the Huffington Post, in 2010, there were 38,000 deaths from drug overdoses, and 61% of those drug overdoses were from legal doctor-prescribed medications. In that same year, there were 25,000 alcohol-related fatalities. In the state of Texas, opiate overdoses have quadrupled since the year of 2000. As paramedics, you're going to see all of this. There are people that get in drunk driving accidents and die. There are people that have heroin overdoses. There are people every single day that abuse their narcotics that they're given. According to the CDC, the most common medicines that you're going to see abused are methadone, oxycodone, Vicodin, and I can attest that I've seen all of these medicines and they're being abused rampantly. Every day, we as paramedics take in over 1,000 patients into the ER for abusing their prescription medications. So why is this happening? Why are we having heroin overdoses? Why are people taking these awful horse tranquilizers of drugs that are being prescribed? Well, they're being prescribed these medicines. The doctors are prescribing them. They're dangerous medicines, and then they're being taken off of the medicines. You're prescribed to them, and then you're taken off the medicine, and that leaves you itching for more, and that leaves you going to new doctors trying to get new medicines, or trying this route to get new medicines to satisfy you. And in the end, when it becomes too expensive to do, heroin is a lot cheaper. All these awful street drugs are a lot cheaper. And that's why people are doing it. No one in this room would ever do heroin, but if you were given a prescription medicine and then just taken off of it from your doctor, you might become a junkie. And that's kind of the problem that we're seeing happen today. And all the meanwhile, there are lobbyists for the pharmaceutical company that are paying off politicians to keep things the way they are. And marijuana still remains illegal. The DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, this is the governmental institute that manages our drug laws, still has marijuana as a Schedule I narcotic. That means that it has no medical benefits whatsoever and is considered highly addictive. It is in the exact same list as heroin, LSD, and PCP. Your government believes that marijuana is just as bad as heroin, PCP, and LSD. At least it does on paper in the laws. So the laws are outdated, and it's causing a lot of problems. Most of the Americans in the nation, though, however, don't really believe that marijuana is that big of a deal anymore. We have kind of gotten over the stigma. Most of the Americans that were born, most of the Americans were not born, were not birthed after the laws were created. Let me reiterate. The laws were created, and then since then, everyone has been born. So it's a century-old law that is kind of held a stigma. The stigma is going away, though. Now, according to a CNN poll, in 2016, 51% of the population believes that marijuana should be legal and have admitted to actually taking and using marijuana. And that's up from 37% in 97. And so there's a lot more people that are admitting to using this, and they feel that marijuana is not near as dangerous anymore. 9% believe that medical marijuana is safer than alcohol. And so we shouldn't just go off the beliefs of our society. If everyone believed that we shouldn't pay taxes, that would probably leave us in a bad spot. So let's go off the statistics. Statistically, no one has ever overdosed or died from strictly marijuana. There's no deaths that can be attributed only to marijuana. We can't say the same thing about prescription drugs or about alcohol. In meanwhile, we're spending a lot of money on the war on drugs. We are paying our police to mess with people for petty crimes such as marijuana. We have overcrowded populations in prisons, we have gang violence, and we have cartels on the south of the border. There's a man currently in Texas serving life for less than $1,000 worth of marijuana. The man is in jail for life for marijuana. Meanwhile, that guy just got away with a rape conviction for 3 months. This is kind of a messed up system, right? So I say, let's legalize marijuana. Let's take the harmful pharmaceutical drugs off the streets, and let's legalize marijuana, stop the prescription medicine, and let's start making money off of it. We can tax this. We can regulate it. We can make it a safer thing rather than buying marijuana off the street from someone. We can sell this, and let's regulate it and make it legal. In Colorado, this is the first state to legalize marijuana, and they're kind of now an economic science experiment for us. According to Forbes, they found in the first year that marijuana was legal in Colorado, they gained $70 million in taxes alone, and the revenue was $1 billion for the state. And they had $35 million for earmarked money just for the school system in the state. That's a lot of money. And so if we were to compare Colorado to the state of Texas, Colorado has 5.2 million people, Texas has 26.5 million people. If we were to take the numbers and population and apply them to the facts that came from Colorado, we could see over $300 million in taxes alone and over $5 billion in revenue for the state. We could spend that money on our schools, and we could make things better. And by the way, our schools fail 1/5 of all kids. Only 80% of the kids in Texas schools graduate. 20% don't graduate. I think that's crazy. We could spend this money on our own school districts. So I would like for you to imagine a world where we're not spending all this money fighting something that we all kind of agree is a petty problem, and let the crime be fought by cops as opposed to these petty crimes. They can go and spend their time on real problems. Let's get a budget surplus instead of being in the negative. Let's make money off of marijuana. I would like to see us join the 25 states that have medical marijuana, and then the 4 that already have it legalized across the board. By the way, there are 5 states currently this year that will vote in November to make marijuana legal across the board. And so, in conclusion, I would like to say that the days of reefer madness, the stigma on marijuana has gone away. We have old laws that need to be changed. And I would urge for you, when the time does come, and I do believe that it will come, to vote to legalize marijuana altogether. Thank you for your time. Does anyone have any questions? All right, thank you so much. Have a great day.